down in the city of Atlanta, Georgia during the holiday season, most families have their own very special traditions. But others may recall riding on the back of a very odd-looking train, a train in the shape of a pig. This may seem like a very unusual way of getting into the Christmas spirit, but everyone has their own way of celebrating during this time. How, though, did such a weird one take off into something more? And where did all these memories go after all this time? Let's take a closer look together at the rise and demise of an Atlanta holiday tradition, the pink pig.
A beloved sign of the holiday season is now no more. Macy's confirming tonight the pink pig train ride at Lenox Square Mall is officially retired.
A tiny train in the shape of a pig holds so many memories for families, and it's a tradition they're passing down generation after generation.
For the first time in about 50 years, she's hanging up her cape.
It's a very sweet tradition. It's a simple tradition, but it's got a lot of memories.
Turning the pages back in time, our story begins in the 1950s. Rich's, a booming retail shop in the heart of Atlanta, was looking at a new way to help celebrate the holiday season. While most places may have carolers, a tree lighting ceremony, or maybe even a parade, but Rich's? Oh no, they thought differently. They thought, what about a pig-shaped monorail named Priscilla? Now, why would a toy store think that this was the best approach? Well, let's get into that. The department store introduced in 1948 what they called the Great Tree. Essentially, this was their own version of a tree lighting, and oh my was it special. Every year, a large pine tree would sit atop the Rich's flagship store in downtown Atlanta for all to admire. It would hold its annual tree lighting on Thanksgiving Day, but it was until only a few short years later that they decided to expand the idea. In 1963, Priscilla the pig made her debut. No, she wasn't an actual pig. She was in fact a suspended monorail. You would have thought this would be something akin to Walt Disney. At the time, this was a very simple concept, taking the idea of if pigs can fly to a whole new level. It only made a few turns as it circled the rooftop of Rich's, and that was about it. It was a very simple design, being designed strictly for the kids. Any adult who may have tried to squeeze into its ride cabin might have had trouble fitting. It didn't take long, however, until they decided to expand the idea only 2 years later, and a second pig was added named Percival. Now, the pink pig track headed outside to do one full circle around the Great Tree, before heading back inside to do one more full circle around the top of the store. This iteration of it was a very cool and unique experience, considering it headed directly over a downtown street below you, dangling riders over moving cars. The department store had a real winner on their hands. Over the years, more was added to the overall Rich's holiday experience. This of course included Santa's workshop, and a way to meet Santa Claus himself. All this seemed like it would last a lifetime with how much joy it brought families from all over. But where did it all go? Unfortunately, the beginning of the end came when the downtown store filed for bankruptcy and closed its doors in 1991. The Pink Pig, though, was given new life and was relocated to the Festival of the Trees. Here, it would only run up until 1995, and then would come to the end of its run for the time being. This would also be the very last time the riders would get to take a ride on the unique suspended monorail style of the attraction. In 2004, it was brought back in a different way that could be looked at as a shell of its former self. Macy's, in partnership with the Atlanta History Center, were able to bring the little pig that could back to life, with revenue from its return being donated to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta to commemorate the 50th anniversary of the Pink Pig. Now, however, it resided underneath a giant inflatable tent that sat on top of a parking deck, a bit different than the first iteration of the attraction for sure. Not only that though, but the recognizable flying pig concept of the trains was in the past. They were no longer suspended, kind of throwing out the whole if pigs can fly idea out the window. This iteration of the holiday classic could be found at Lenox Square Mall, and was a bit different than what most people may recall the train ride being. As of 2019, visitors had the option to purchase one ride for $3 or double and triple your fun by paying just a little bit more for the chance to do 2 or 3 rides. This made it a very affordable experience for the whole family to enjoy together. Upon approaching the giant inflatable tent, signage would be positioned outside to let you take in the kind of experience you're about to take, as well as a giant blow-up pig to draw you in. Some signs placed outside the entrance would tell you the story of Priscilla the pig, just in case you didn't watch this video. Once inside, visitors would be delighted to see a colorful array of decorations, and then there she sits, the pink pig. Once on board, riders would experience a tour through the charm, whimsical, and historical retelling of the classic monorail that could be found at a local Riches store many years ago. You start your journey by taking a turn past some inflatable trees that look like something out of Candyland, and a sign reading A Pig's Tale. Priscilla the pig herself narrates the ride as you go through every passing scene. You would then begin to pass by various scenes in a pop-up book looking stylistic way that would showcase various different Christmas traditions. After heading through what gives the appearance of a mirror maze, you arrive back to where riders would have completed the full circuit as they're greeted by the original pink pig on display for all to see. The ride was very short in length and was a very simple idea and concept, no doubt about that. After riding though, visitors could pick up a souvenir on their way out, or even meet and have their picture taken with Priscilla the pig herself. Locals and tourists visiting from far and wide found enjoyment in this Atlanta tradition. Unfortunately though, it wasn't meant to last. In 2020, the world shut down due to the COVID-19 pandemic, and thus, the pink pig never saw the light of day again. After going through an up and down history, they decided to retire the classic ride that has spent many years bringing joy and happiness to families from all over. Macy's wrote a statement and letter on September 30th, 2020 on behalf of Priscilla to share the sad news. For more than 50 years, I've had a memorable ride with many generations of Atlantans who know my arrival at Macy's Lenox Square marks the beginning of the holiday season. From my debut in the 50s at Rich's downtown store, to my brief stint at the Eggleston's Children's Hospital Festival of Trees, to the winding track beneath the 170-foot pink pig tent at the Lenox Square, I treasure the friends I've met from near and far, and am proud of the iconic holiday tradition I've become. With this news, Atlanta has lost a Christmas classic. During her run, Priscilla the pig has donated nearly $1 million to the Children's Healthcare of Atlanta, and is something many Atlantans, like myself, remember visiting every holiday season. I vividly recall the colorful train through the large tent and wish that I could have gone back at least one more time. But why did everyone find such joy in this silly little ride that would come and go like a traveling carnival? Why do we have such weird obsessions with pig-themed attractions? Is it that there's something comical about riding on the back of a cartoon four-legged farm animal? I don't know, but I do know that Priscilla the pig will surely be missed. And who knows, maybe she could be brought back to a new life soon for the next generation who would like to take a ride on the back of the little pig that could. I hope you enjoyed this episode of ParkTwister. If you're new around, please consider subscribing. And if you enjoyed the video, then go ahead and hit that like button. To help support us even farther, all affiliated links can be found in the description below. Alright, thanks for watching everyone. I'll catch you in the next one. Happy holidays.